So, what is a streaming platform, and why do you want your music on it? A streaming platform is basically a platform where you can listen to a song through digital communications, like Spotify, like Apple Music. And why you would want your music on there is so, if you're becoming an artist, you want other people to listen to your music, right? So that's why you'd want people, that's why you want your music on there. So I am going to teach you how to get your music on there without your PC. All of this with your iPhone so far. Let's begin. A distributor is basically a company or a third party that's able to take your music and distribute, aka share it, out to the streaming platforms like Spotify, Apple Music. They collect royalties, aka the money that you're owed for your music, and they help you avoid, legal complications and much more. Okay, so first thing you're going to do is you're going to open up your GarageBand app, and you are going to find a song here that you want to put on Spotify or Apple Music. So, if you do not have the song already saved to your device, and you're probably thinking, what do you mean by save it to your device, TenTillDeath? Is this already not on my device? Well, it's the project, the song project, not the actual, finished packaged song. So what you're going to have to do is you're going to have to save the song to your device first. So you choose your song that you want to put on Apple Music or Spotify. Long press it. Tap share. Tap song. And what you're going to do here is it has audio quality. Now listen, this is very important. Most music distribution platforms will only accept a song in WAV format. So what you're going to have to do is you're going to have to tap WAV. And you're probably wondering, what's WAV? WAV is essentially all of the audio recordings in its original audio quality. So everything is in its original audio quality. It's the best of the best. It's the best of the best, to basically put it like that. It's, the best of the best. So you're going to export it to WAV, uncompress, tap share. Then you're going to scroll down and you're going to tap save to files. And you're going to save the song to your iPhone files here. All right, just save it anywhere to your files. It doesn't matter as long as you know where it is in your files. Once you got it saved to your files, this is where the magic comes in. Open up Safari and search up music distribution. Now, this is where, once you search it up on Safari, you are going to have a lot of different companies come up. And you're probably thinking to yourself, oh my God, what do you mean companies? What? So there's a lot of different companies out there that will help you put your music out there. Some companies are free where you don't got to pay a dime. Some companies you have to pay for a yearly service or a monthly service, right? And the reason why I want you to search up music distribution is so you can scroll down and choose, so you can scroll down and look at your options, and so you can decide which company you want to use. You could use United Masters to put your music out there. You could use Lander. You could use Ditto Music. You could even go and do a Muse or Unchained or Music Gateway or Route Note, right? That's all up to you. Now, if you're trying to, I'll say this, some music distribution platforms, you can release your music for free. The only downside is once you upload your song, you have to wait a month for it to be on Spotify. But then there's other music platforms like Muse where you can pay a monthly subscription and you can have your song out on Spotify in less than a week. So that depends which route you're going. If you're trying to get your music out in a more quick, timely fashion, I would, recommend a paid subscription music distribution platform like a Muse. But if you're trying to, get your music out for free so you don't have to spend a dime, because, just even having to make music can cost money, I would recommend Route Note. Route Note is completely free, y'all. So once you've decided which of these music platforms you're going to go for, open up your app store and then search up the music distribution platform that you want to do. So if you're trying to release it through a Muse, you'll just search up Muse, and there will be an app for it. If you're trying to do, here's one. I'm trying to see if it still exists. This is a free music distribution platform that I used to use. So let me see if I can find it. Where is it at? Here we go. Soundbirth. This is also a free music distribution platform right here. Soundbirth, you can release your music for free. Soundbirth, of course, they're going to try to get you to pay for a freaking monthly subscription. They're just going to spam it in front of your face. But you can just go around it, hit the X button, and just release it for free. Release your music for free. So once you find your music distribution platform app that you want to, release your music on, download that app, and then open that app. Now, I personally use United Masters. I've used Amuse, I've used Soundbirth, I've used DistroKid, I've used so many different platforms. There's been some platforms that have screwed me over, some that have just I'm not even going to get into the story, but there's a reason why I'm using United Masters, and I'm pretty sure I'm going to leave United Masters once my subscription is over. But most of these distribution apps all function the same. So this is what you're mostly going to see when you open up the distribution app that you chose. So open up your app, and this is the same on Amuse, this is the same on Soundbirth, this is the same on most distribution apps. So at the bottom, you're going to have either a plus icon or a music icon. And this is the fun part. This is where you actually get to release your music. So once you tap the option to release your music, whether it's on the United Masters app, or whether it's on Amuse, or whether it's on Soundbirth, this is where we get to all the goodness here. So most of the time it'll have stuff like, okay, add a release title. So what's the name of your song? What's the name of your album, right? We're just going to put TenTillDeath as the song name, right? Or as the release name, right? Hold on. Okay, we'll just put Burn, right? Now, are you trying to release a single or are you trying to release an album? If you're trying to release an album, what you'll typically do is you'll tap Add Tracks. And you'll tap Add Tracks. Or if you want to release a song, you'll tap Add Tracks. And you'll find the file. You'll find that song that you saved to your files. And you'll tap it. And you'll tap Open. And it'll upload. And whatever you do not switch apps. Do not ever switch apps during that time. So you can see as it's uploading. And if you want to add more than one track, you can add another track from your files, right? And now, while we wait for that, we can add cover art. So most of the time, you'll just tap the cover art, and it'll have rules for the cover art, right? So we'll just add something, I don't know, something stupid here. Okay, we'll add this stupid logo. And most of the time, most music distributors, they want to avoid copyright and legal issues. So when you tap your music artwork you want to put on there, most of the time they'll have a checklist like, oh, is this blurry, pixelated, or misaligned? Does the text match the rest of the release information? Are there images or logos that, you don't have permission to use, like copyright? And you go through the checklist, and if you see that none of it applies to you, you just tap looks good in most cases, right? Okay, yeah, that's a glitch. I'm just showing you guys this as an example. And then most of the time when, when your song down here is done uploading, you can tap the song, and that's when you fill in all the information. So example, United Masters here is asking us, does this track contain any third-party audio, like samples or beats? Now, if you did use a sample, y'all, I'm not saying that you should tap no, that this does not contain samples, because most hip-hop music is mostly samples. Most pop music is mostly samples. But let's be real. I highly doubt, depending on how much you chopped up the sample, I highly doubt, the music distribution platforms are going to figure out use a sample. So just tap no. Then this is where you get other stuff. Content, explicit or non-explicit. This basically means, okay, are you cussing in your song, right? Are you cussing in your song? If you're cussing in your song, explicit. If you're not cussing in your song, not explicit, right? Then you can, put your legal name for the writers. And why that's appropriate that you put your legal name is because whenever you search up your legal name online, you can see all your music. So I'm just gonna put half of my legal name. Horawawi. Producers. Who produced the song? Did you produce the song? If you produced the song, you put your name. If you're using someone else's beat produced the song, you'll put your name. And let's say, I don't know, Mach 10 Beats made the beat, but I didn't make the beat. Then Mach 10 is technically a producer. You'll add him. Are there any featured artists on the song? Is your best friend on the song? If your best friend is Lil Boom, put Lil Boom as a featured artist on the song, right? Split pay, split royalties. So basically what split pay is basically this. Royalties is basically the money you are going to get paid for your music. So what you'll do is it asks for your split. What's your split of the check that you're getting? Are you getting 100% of the money that you're going to be making here? Right? If it's just you doing the song, of course you're going to get 100%, dummy. But if it's you and a Lil Boom, you're going to add Lil Boom as a collaborator, and then you're going to, go 50-50 on that, right? Hold on. Then it has version. Is this an instrumental? If it's not an instrumental, then do not check it off. ISRC, this is basically International Standing Recording Code. It basically, all it does is it's basically a code. You know how at the grocery store, there's the barcodes on the back of the box that identifies the product. Same concept, y'all. Same concept. The difference is this code, is a code, or it's a number sequence that is used to recognize your song all across the world. So let's say you want to re-release your song at some point. Most of the time, you're going to have to... Well, what they'll do is, whenever you release your song for the first time, the music distribution platforms will make an ISRC code for you. And then let's say you want to re-release it in the future. You'll just come back to the song. That ISRC code will still be there available for you. And you can just copy and paste the ISRC code. So I would only use this if you're re-releasing a song. If you're re-releasing a song, then that's the only way I do it. So let's say, for example, we're re-releasing Burn up here, right? Well, I'd scroll the way down to ISRC. And since we already released Burn once, the original Burn has an ISRC code. So since we're re-releasing it, we have to retype in the ISRC code, and that's just an example. And boom, right? And then once you got all the details filled out, it'll ask you, is this a new release or a re-release? If it's a new release, you've never released a song before, new release. Are you re-releasing it? Like, have you released it before? Re-release, right? And then label. Basically, label is kind of like a record label, right? Like, if you're signed to a record label, you can put whatever your record label's name is in there. So, Shahakaga, right? Or if you don't have a record label, you could just put your own name in there, right? So, like, I don't know, TenTillDeath records suck, as an example. And once you're finished, you'll hit next, and it'll take you to the final steps, and you should be able to know what to do from there, right? Now that your music is out there is nothing that you can't do. I've spent years using GarageBand on iOS, finding new workarounds, finding hidden methods, finding hidden techniques, finding new techniques, trying to use this piece of software to the greatest advantage that I can over the years. I hope that you're able to take this masterclass and develop new techniques so we can share new techniques throughout the musical creative world. This has been TenTillDeath, and I'm signing off. Peace.